You are listening to Proof Text, a Glossa House podcast exploring Scripture and all things related to it. New episodes are released daily. For more information, check out glossahouse.com and subscribe to our channels on Spotify and YouTube. Welcome and enjoy.
Hello, welcome to Constituent Marking with Fred Long on Proof Text. I am Fred Long, and we're looking at 1 Corinthians 14:24. Yeah, we're making good progress through chapter 14. Now, this verse is paralleling the previous verse in structure. There's a conditional idea, if, and then there's a question mark, a question expecting a positive answer. So if the whole church gathers together in the same way and all are speaking in languages, and added to that, a commoner or unbeliever enters in, is elthosin, will they not say future that? Will they not say this? You are in a frantic, frenetic frenzy, a mantic frenzy. And the answer is yes. Yes, they will say that because that's what it will look like. Okay, so this verse is gonna add an alternative scenario. But if, so here de is marking a new development, and in the context indicates a contrast because you're alternating what all are doing. So rather than all speaking in languages or tongues, they're going to be prophesying, plus the outcome is going to be different. Now, we're not going to see that outcome because there's multiple parts to this if clause, and it's going to extend into the next verse. So we have eon de pantes prophetev osin is elthede tis apistos e idiotes elenkete upo panton anakrinete upo panton. All right. So we noted the de, and then let's start by doing some breaking things down. So we have a couple conjunctions. De, as I indicated, is marking new development. Aeon introduces a subordinate clause, so it gets a box around it, a green box. And then we're looking, so we're starting a bracket because this aeon is introducing what's called a protasis or a supposition to a conditional sentence, if then. So if then setup. Pantes is the subject, single underline pantes. Prophetev osin is the verb, single underline it, cut off the ending. This is a present subjunctive. So aeon, we expect a subjunctive ending, and indeed we have that osin with the lengthen with an omega rather than usin, we have osin. And so then we have another development. So we have another de. Now this de is developing what else is going to be happening. So here's the verb, it's subjunctive. So this is really participating with the aeon. This aeon is governing both these verbs. So all are prophesying, and someone comes in. So this is from is erkome. So is elthei is subjunctive, third singular, aorist, active. Some apistos e idiotes. So here we have the indefinite pronoun tis working with apistos, and then with an alternative. A is a connector indicating alternate. And so here you have apistos or idiotes. Now, apistos is actually a technical term for like a pagan unbeliever. So this is someone who's really dedicated to paganism. And so that's interesting when you look at that in the Pauline literature. that has a really a more technical kind of meaning. What it does is it profiles, it construes someone who is definitely not a believer in the one God, and probably even paganism. And then idiotes is interesting. Our word idiot comes from that in English, but idiotes is an uninitiated person. It's like an average Joe. Perhaps we should say, some unbeliever comes in, and some average Joe comes in. Then you get the and this is where the if clause ends. So there's two parts to the if clause. All are prophesying, and then you have, secondly, some unbeliever or commoner comes in, or average person, average Joe comes in. Then you get with elenkete and anakrinete, you're getting the conclusion. So the if part, this is all the condition, what's called the supposition. The then part, the conclusion is seen with these verbs, elenkete and anakrinete. So here we have the main sentence. The main sentence is actually, he or she is reproved by all. Upo panton is a prepositional phrase, gets parentheses, and then you're having actually the start of a list here. These commas are of course not part of the original punctuation, but this is where this verse continues into verse 25. So they are reproved by all, judged by all, or like scrutinized. Anakrinete has ana added to the front of krino, changes it. And so these are middle passive, present middle passive, indicative verbs, third singular. And so the third singular is going back to the apistos or the idiotes. So yeah, this is part of the conclusion. Now the final part of this conclusion is going to be seen in verse 25. So we'll stop there. Thanks for listening and watching, and hope to have you listen and watch next time. Take care.
Interested in growing your ancient language skills but not sure where to start? Glossa House can help. From illustrated readers and short stories to lexicons and grammars, Glossa House offers a variety of resources for beginning, intermediate, and experienced ancient language learners. Head to glossahouse.com today. Glossa House, language resources for the global community.